pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior who granted us the freedom. And let the soul the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear and plenty meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear and plenty meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Amazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior who granted us the freedom. And let the soul the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear and plenty meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear and plenty meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Go. Our destiny was wholly trapped in the nest of killers we once erroneously considered our brothers. In 2016, we started by speaking as gentlemen do, expecting civilized answers. But we were rudely awakened by the cruelty and monstrosity of our French Cameroon exterminators, who have been masquerading over the years as our brothers from a different mother. Just imagine the paradox of torturing us to death because they want us to stay together. The maimings, the lootings and the arsons, the targeted assassinations, the abductions and disappearances of thousands of our people by these monsters who have told us to our faces that the wages of divorce, even from a failed experiment with no treaty of union, will be our total annihilation, not dialogue, not genuine dialogue. Imagine the value of our properties and historic sites in more than 400 villages and hamlets burned to ashes, our markets, some of our schools and hospitals all razed down or forced to be abandoned to ruins for fear of brutes who only yesterday in Fumban purportedly agreed that we were equals. Imagine our more than 20,000 Amazonians, including mothers, toddlers, and innocent children of school age, brutally slaughtered by Porbia's terrorists and their proxies with total impunity. Add to this number about 100,000 more innocent Amazonians who have died in 4 years of this conflict, of other causes, as a consequence of this senseless war. How many orphans do we now have in Amazonia? How many widows? And how many of our great people are now wallowing in total destitution? What a price to pay in a so-called union of two equals, just for daring in 2016 to demand that our two people sit down and have a sincere dialogue. Imagine the pain we are being subjected to, the fate of over 1.5 million of our people languishing in bushes, inhumanly held in dungeons and refugee settlements, or squatting with extended relatives or even total strangers without food, without water, medical care, shelter, or education. Imagine the devil in these French Cameroon forces targeting even our innocent toddlers, torturing and shooting them at close range, roasting and frying some, like the little baby that was fried in the village of Kendem in a pot of boiling oil. This is how Mr. Biya wants to preserve the one Cameroon lie. It now seems as though our ancestors were under a spell when they opted to enter into this failed relationship in 1961. And why, or why in the world did they not discover these wolves in sheep clothing? Imagine for a brief second the political, educational, and legal subjugation of our people and the economic exploitation of our God-given resources by French Cameroon, even in the heart of a raging war, have not abated. In their minds, we no longer exist, and our lives don't matter anymore. They have resolved to do with the barrel of the gun what they failed to accomplish in 60 years through their treacherous policies of assimilation and brutal exploitation. Yes, we of this brave generation of Southern Cameroonians, caught in this web of annihilation, refused to wait to all be killed by these marauding monsters. We mustered the courage to arise once and for all against their deadly masquerades on helicopter gunships and armored cars wielding machine guns with our bare knuckles. We are energized by the immortal spirits of the ancient warriors of our land, like Kuvali Kenya, Pontem Asongani, etc. We chose the path of liberty to liberate ourselves from the slave shackles of French Cameroon or die fighting honorably. This is our generational responsibility to free our land from this black on black colonialism, end decades of genocide, and guarantee a free Southern Cameroon for our children. We must finish the job. Since the reigniting of this freedom flame in 2016, our people in 2020 in particular exemplified awesome bravery, ingenuity, and resilience. We cumulatively registered record-breaking progress in our self-defense infrastructure in spite of French Cameroon's escalation of the war during the pandemic. Our righteous resolve for total freedom could not be hoodwinked or silenced by the occupiers' odious schemes and new levels of barbarism. Fellow Amazonians, my dear compatriot, the genocide in Amazonia is now full-fledged. Every day, blood is spilled on our streets in Amazonia. They fear to confront our dreaded self-defense forces, the Amazonian Restoration Forces, and rather prey on innocent Amazonians in our towns and villages. Their hallmark scorched-earth policy has continued with targeted burning of villages and homes. They continue to commit these atrocity crimes, in our opinion, for this long because of the complicit silence of the United Nations Security Council and France in particular. To the many Amazonian families who have borne the crushing pain of losing their loved ones because of this senseless genocide that has been declared on us, I say, stay strong and do not give up. We are with you and share your pain. The blood of every Amazonian will be accounted for and justice will be served. Amazonia will forever honor all those whose blood has watered our tree of freedom. Patriotic choruses and monuments will edify the sacrifices each family bore for our homeland to be free. No Amazonian gone before us will be a mere number on a tombstone. No. When the battle is over and the fire of our victory torch is lit in Boya, and the parade along the Abet Mukong Square is over, we will surely account for every compatriot gone before us. We will pay our dues as a nation to their families left behind. Let every local government keep their records and report same to our Directorate of Statistics and National Archives here at the Presidency. Let me use this opportunity once more to ask all of us to spare a moment of remembrance for our fallen compatriots since this genocide started. A moment of silence, please. Fellow Amazonians, on this same day last year, I appealed to the young men and women working for the colonial terrorist forces in Amazonia to obey their consciences and drop their weapons. The good news is that call was massively heeded. The colonial regime of Yaoundé recently published a list of thousands of its soldiers claiming that they deserted their units. But our intelligence tells us that a good chunk of the soldiers on that list are soldiers who fell in battle in southern Cameroon against our valiant self-defense volunteers, the Amazonia Restoration Forces. But I also know that some joined our ranks. I want to sincerely appreciate all who deserted from Paul Biya's genocidal army, their origins notwithstanding. I want to inform all families of soldiers of La Republique involved in the war in southern Cameroon that if a soldier has not communicated with family members for 2 months, it is likely that he or she has been killed in Amazonia and his corpse either abandoned in the bushes or dumped in some mass grave by French Cameroon. Cash-strapped French Cameroon is obviously dodging away from huge financial responsibilities towards the families of the thousands of diseased soldiers they have lost in this senseless war. Or just maybe they are desperately trying to contain the negative propaganda that will result from publishing their high number of casualties. Talking about atrocity crimes, the whole world came close to attest that it is a fact that the sickening massacre of some of our school children at Mother Teresa Memorial International Bilingual School in Kumba on that fateful Saturday, October 24th, 2020, was an act of desperation by a frustrated La République du Cameroon army trying to frame up somebody, maybe the interim government, and turn the international community against us. The world forever refused to buy into such propaganda theatrics of French Cameroon. The masterminds of this hideous crime, like Atanganji and his gang of criminal enforcers, pretended to mourn more than the bereaved. but went about to criminally manipulate and intimidate the corrupt local media to carry their narrative. In their panic to get rid of evidence, French Cameroon forces quickly arraigned in custody the innocent staff of the school and neighbors around the crime scene who were suspected to be key witnesses. This is French Cameroon's hallmark strategy for a cover-up by intimidating witnesses and preventing human rights organizations from contacting key witnesses or visiting the site. Today, some of those witnesses, key witnesses, have simply disappeared. Yet the international community is still monitoring the situation, except with closed eyes and tied hands. Let me use this occasion to call on the United Nations Security Council one more time to establish an independent fact-finding mission to investigate these and other atrocity crimes committed in the former British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia since Dictator Biya declared war on our people in 2017. It smells like complicity for the United Nations Security Council to keep on believing the narrative of one party in this conflict, especially when that party has a record of committing such atrocity crimes against those she considers terrorists. French Cameroon has committed too many atrocity crimes to be overlooked. I wonder how many more massacres it will take for the United Nations Security Council to assume its responsibility to protect the people of the former United Nations Trust territory of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. My dear people of Southern Cameroons, fellow Ambazonians, the successful launch of the Amber War Draft Award in May 2020 was a patriotic endeavor to give ownership of this liberation struggle to you, the people. By committing to this financial undertaking as a patriotic duty, we sent a reassuring message to our frontline fighters and militant population on ground zero facing the bullets that we are together, that they are not alone. Though far away from the battlefields, we are ready to use our financial weapon to carry on with the noble task of defending our homeland. From Donga Mantung in the Savannah zone to Ndian in the Equatorial zone, you spoke like a people who understand the urgency of the task of regaining our priceless freedom. Let me once more congratulate those who would have honored their draft pledges in full by midnight today, December 31st, 2020. You are the vanguards of our collective sacrifice to liberate Ambazonia, and I thank you all. Our Ambazonia Restoration Forces are so proud of your die-hard patriotic commitment. For those who are still to complete their 2020 draft, our people are still counting on your honest pledge and hope that you redeem your draft as a matter of extreme urgency. And those diasporans and people in Ambazonia who are busy spending their millions to acquire our lands in Ambazonia for little or nothing, in the middle of this raging war, that will not as much as support the struggle. These people are penny-wise, pound-foolish. Ambazonia is not for sale. On the 17th of January, 2021, we will celebrate Ambazonia Patriots Day, the grand finale of the 2020 draft. On that day, we will give out certificates of recognition to all draftees who already would have paid their 2020 draft in full. And we will immediately proceed to launch the 2021 award program. let me use this opportunity once more to thank leaders of all tiers of government, especially the counties and local government executives who worked tirelessly to make this 2020 draft a success. But I won't hide it from you. The way and manner in which some counties and local governments managed the draft funds without strict compliance with our national strategic directives is a call for concern. Our Intergovernmental Oversight Committee, the Office of the Comptroller General, and the Department of Self-Defense and Security have therefore recommended that we do things differently this new year, 2021. And so shall it be. We must jointly accelerate our national strategic plan this time, and no local government, no county or individual should hold us back. Let us make 2021 the year of our greatest commitment to dislodge all occupation forces and purge our land of all colonial authorities and their enablers. Let us fight to assert full control of our territory going forward. Let us fight in 2021 with such intensity that even mistakes or accidents will not be able to stop us from crossing the finish line. I mean, let us fight to finish. Dear Amberlanders, as you all know, silent but aggressive diplomacy is one of the cornerstones of our pentad strategy. We covered a lot of ground in the year just ended, despite the drawbacks of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Swiss government-led mediation gained greater momentum this year as member nations of the United Nations Security Council are now lending their support to the process by insisting French Cameroon meets with the leaders of Southern Cameroons without precondition, of course, for a negotiated settlement. Unfortunately, La République du Cameroon's puppet master, France, is the one behind the curtains, playing the drums of war that French Cameroon is dancing. They have continued to unconditionally back their ally, La République du Cameroon, in a proxy war to hold and forcefully keep the mineral-rich territory of Amazonia as an integral part of their French Cameroon, and therefore become part of their undisputed hegemony in Central Africa. Now permit me to make this one appeal to the French authorities. You don't have to kill 2 million Amazonians and displace 2 million others just to preserve your interest in our resources. Because we can still give you legitimate access to our resources as friends and partners of our new country. Why not? We don't hate the French. We only hate the fact that once upon a time we were free, but now we are slaves. Southern Cameroon does not have to be a former French colony to do business with France. The interest you are trying to preserve in Southern Cameroon through this senseless proxy war could be permanently jeopardized by the immeasurable anger of the millions of victims of this proxy war in Southern Cameroon. Amazonia is not free. So the good people of France can help us birth a friendly Southern Cameroon's nation now, and we will be eternally grateful. That allowing your bad guys continue as it is to push La République du Cameroon on a path to annihilate the Southern Cameroons. That means if our generation falls short, our children the worst victims of this war will never forgive. But allowing your bad guys continue to push La République du Cameroon on a path to annihilate the southern Cameroons means even if our generation falls short, our children, the worst victims of this war, will never forgive French Cameroon. And the end result in the Gulf of Guinea shall be a loss for all in terms of insecurity. My dear people of Ambazonia, fellow Southern Cameroonians, our legal team worked closely with ACT and filed a 140-page petition to the International Criminal Court in The Hague on the 30th of November 2020 against 93 perpetrators and criminal facilitators from La République du Cameroon and the Federal Republic of Nigeria for crimes against humanity, war crimes, and genocide. We have also accelerated the filing of the same criminal lawsuit against the very 93 perpetrators in 13 different international jurisdictions. I make bold to say that the era of French Cameroon's impunity in this senseless war of assimilation is just about to come to an end. Let us use this opportunity, or let me use this opportunity to applaud the revolutionary sacrifices of some of the finest of Ambazonian legal minds and other experts for putting this petition together. Your selflessness exemplifies the best of the Ambazonian spirit of sacrifice. On behalf of the Ambazonian people, I thank you for your service and encourage you to continue this important task so that justice for the atrocity crimes committed by French Cameroon in Gabu, Pinyin, Bali, Babanki, Kwakwa, Pumba, and all other places in Ambazonia is served sooner than later. French Cameroon will surely pay for their crimes against our people, now, tomorrow, or in the future. Our class lawsuit for damages that come next. One more thing as we prepare for the inevitable. This year, the interim government, in collaboration with some ACT members, will be convening the All Amazonia Constitutional Draft Conference to put together our draft federal constitution in waiting and show the world and the world leaders how we are ready to hit the ground running. I will be counting on the voluntary participation of some of our best constitutional experts and academicians to usher us through this very important phase of our endeavor. Dear citizens of Ambazonia, fellow countrymen and women, diplomacy without self-defense in our context is like pressing down the accelerator of a car while your handbrake is still engaged. It is stagnating. That's why your resounding response to the Amber War Draft initiative that started 6 months ago showed that you understood why diplomacy only flies through the victor's barrels. Together, we forever buried the celebration of any national day in Amazonia. Together, we thwarted all French Cameroon's organized elections in our territory. Together, we made a laughingstock of the so-called UNDP reconstruction project masterminded by French Cameroon. Together, we have forever demystified the aura of invincibility of armored cars in Amazonia through our local ingenuity. And together, we are gradually replacing the Dane guns. And this year, 2021, with much or little, with few or with many, with everybody or alone, we are working on breaking new grounds in our defense infrastructure and weaponry. Together, our Ambazonia Restoration Forces, in a show of force, celebrated our Ambazonia Independence Day on 1st October 2020 in flying colors. And just to emphasize, the special slave status, any regional council of enablers in the House of Fools in Ambazonia are dead on arrival. We shall simply bury them in 2021. That is a promise. I wish to also announce that the vaccine called Divide and Rule, successfully utilized by our colonial occupiers to weaken our resolve to fight as one man against our common enemy, has also expired. We have refused to identify ourselves ever again by cardinal points, northwest, southwest, etc., as was diabolically conceived by our enemy just to divide us and weaken us. I have therefore asked that a bill be passed immediately by the Restoration Council to regroup our 13 counties into 3 zones instead of 2. The Equatorial Zone, to be made up of Fako, Meme, Ndian, Kupe, Manenguba counties. The Midland Zone, to be made up of Manyu, Momo, Mezam, Lebialem. And the Savannah Zone, to be made up of Menchum, Boyo, Bui, Gokitunja, and Dongamanto counties. Hello, Ambalanders, my dear country people. Our Ambazonia Restoration Forces, coordinated at the base by our county and local government defense chiefs, have never relented ever since this struggle for independence started. Sometimes cameras are not there to capture the Herculean battles these brave soldiers of Ambazonia are involved in. I talk with some of them momentarily as the commander-in-chief, and I know firsthand their tenacity as they face the enemy, a brutal one. Notwithstanding, I want to put on notice any ARF soldier allying with French Cameroon terrorist forces, politicians or administrators to undermine our struggle. We will not stand by in 2021 and see you hold this struggle hostage on the blood of thousands of our children. Never. The cabinet of the interim government voted to declare a national security emergency in Fako County. Under emergency laws, the existing Fako County Security Council is hereby dissolved. I will be setting up a National Emergency Security Council for Fako to be chaired by my office. This body will oversee all defense operations in Fako for 6 months. This emergency measure has been taken for the good of our liberation struggle and is meant to bring order and better coordination in our defense infrastructure in Fako County. Fellow Ambazonians, dear Southern Cameroonians, concerning French-Cameroon planned hosting of their CAF competition, African Nations Championship 2021 in certain parts of our nation from January 16 to February 7, 2021, listen, that must not happen in our territory. We have declared all players, match officials, and coaches persona non grata in Ambazonia. And let me advise further. We want to warn every enabling structure, hotels and all individuals, public figures, and facilitators who might be planning to participate in this competition at any level to shut down during that period announced. Because the Ambazonia Restoration Forces have made it clear that they have not declared any ceasefire. I have not declared either. And they will be attacking enemy positions during this outlawed tournament. If anyone gets involved in this tournament as a state official from any country, a match official, a driver, a security official, a player or spectator, he or she could be caught in crossfire. We are calling on all participating countries, therefore, and we have sent official letters to all of them to understand that the CAN competition has been banned throughout the national territory of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, and to let them know that Ambazonia is at war and is not open to any outdoor sporting activities until further notice. Fellow Ambazonians, we have come a long way. Turning back is not an option. Let me assure you that the distance we have covered behind us is far more than what lies ahead. The resilience of our Ambazonia restoration forces continuously fuels our determination to never give up. And never will we give up. I salute you all for your bravery. From the jungles of Libialem to the hills of Kumbo, I salute you all. We shall not allow selfish genocide enablers to plant on the graves of our heroes or delay our victory song. In 2021, it will be a two-pronged war in the home front. Surgically identify and radically contain all domestic enemies and neutralize or expel all external enemies and their proxies. For our brethren in jail and our refugees around the world, let your steadfastness and hope for a free Ambazonia never dwindle. It will happen much sooner than later. We will surely overcome. And for those who work tirelessly, making sure the revolutionary machine continues to grind, I say thank you. Thank you for your sacrifices. Let us continue in this same spirit in 2021 till we reach Boya. I wish you all a blessed new year 2020 or 2021. May this year begin the first chapter of our conclusion of our story. Viva our Ambazonia Restoration Forces. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And God bless Ambazonia.
Hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise the our Savior who granted us for freedom. And legends to the hero who brought the land together. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall.
My dear people of Southern Cameroon,
Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear and plenty meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall hear